I'm a 27-year-old man, married to my 29-year-old wife for 6 years. We have a 4-year-old daughter. We met in college, fell deeply in love, and I've never felt for anyone the way I do for her. However, our marriage is struggling, largely due to issues with her family, particularly her father, Phil, 59. My relationship with him has always been strained, and a recent incident involving a false accusation has left me feeling betrayed, especially by my wife's lack of support. Phil has always been the patriarch of his conservative traditional family, and he's never hidden his belief that I'm not good enough for his daughter. I come from a different background, raised by women in a modest household, unlike the affluent, elite world of my in-laws. Phil often made snide comments about my upbringing, once even saying that only a man can raise a boy to be a man. Despite my efforts to build a relationship with him, he only tolerated me after our daughter was born. Last Christmas, during a family gathering at my in-laws' home, Phil's iPad went missing. He immediately accused me of stealing it, claiming I was alone in the house at some point. In reality, I was helping my mother-in-law, 58, in the kitchen while others relaxed. Phil refused to listen to reason, called the police, and humiliated me in front of everyone, saying a real man would confess. The officers diffused the situation, but no charges were filed. Still, Phil escalated things by posting a vicious smear campaign on social media, calling me a thief and saying I wasn't family. This cost me a job opportunity when the company, wary of drama during a rebranding, saw his posts. The fallout was devastating. I was banned from my in-laws' property unless I confessed and apologized, which I refused to do for something I didn't do. My wife attended family events without me, taking our daughter along, even on nights I wanted us to spend together. She urged me to apologize to keep the peace, but I saw it as Phil demanding I grovel. I'm not prideful, but I won't beg for forgiveness for a crime I didn't commit. Worse, when Phil badmouthed me in front of our daughter, my wife claimed she didn't hear it and did nothing to defend me. I set a boundary. Our daughter would no longer attend family events due to Phil's behavior. My wife accused me of escalating the situation by withholding our daughter, but I felt it was about protecting her from Phil's toxicity. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law, 35, supported me more than my wife did, which hurt deeply. Our marriage hit a breaking point with constant arguments, and I felt abandoned by the person who vowed to be my partner. About a month ago, my sister-in-law found the iPad in her son's room. Her 9-year-old son admitted to taking it but was too scared to confess after seeing Phil's reaction to me. Phil never apologized or retracted his accusations publicly. He simply acted like nothing happened. And the family followed his lead, inviting me back to events as if all was forgiven. I declined for myself and my daughter, not out of spite, but to protect us from further harm. I don't trust Phil, and I don't want my daughter exposed to his behavior unsupervised. My wife refuses to discuss the situation, accusing me of dwelling on the past when I tried to express how it still affects me. She says I'm not working toward peace, but I feel I'm the one maintaining boundaries. I shared this story online, knowing she might not approve, but I needed an outlet since we can't communicate. I'm still in love with her and want to save our marriage for our family, but I feel alone and question if my stance is making things worse. Additional context. I later realized how controlling Phil is. My wife chose a college far from home to gain independence, avoiding frequent visits during breaks. When her job brought us closer to her family, she fell back into their dynamic. During the iPad incident, she knew I was innocent but still sided with her father, offering no comfort, only pressure to apologize. This betrayal cut deep. Update. May 9th, 2025. The feedback I received was eye-opening. I realized the issue isn't just Phil, it's my wife's inability to support me. I don't seek a relationship with Phil. He's made it clear I'm not family. My focus is my wife and daughter. I can't force my wife to set boundaries or communicate, but I can protect our daughter and myself. I showed my wife the original post and comments. She wasn't happy but listened for once. I explained that our marriage can't survive like this. I feel alone, and our vows, choosing each other through hardship, haven't been honored. I proposed couples therapy or separation. She was shocked by the idea of separation, saying our vows should hold us together and Phil shouldn't come between us. I pointed out that she prioritized her father over me, leaving me to struggle alone. She agreed to therapy, and we've scheduled sessions. I'm cautiously hopeful but guarded after months of feeling unheard. I asked if therapy was what she truly wanted, not just appeasing me. She insisted she doesn't want to lose our family. I love her for who she is, kind, empathetic, and free-spirited when away from her father's influence. She's the youngest sibling, and her family clings to her tightly. I didn't fully grasp Phil's control until this incident. I hope therapy helps her reclaim her independence and strengthens our partnership. Our vows mean choosing each other, especially when it's hard. I'm taking this one step at a time, focused on boundaries and protecting our daughter. Second story, I'm in my 40s, reflecting on my failed first marriage and how I've changed. My ex-wife and I, both in our 40s now, married young in our early 20s after meeting in college. We moved from dorm life to a new city for my job, enjoying the carefree early days of marriage. Our first child arrived shortly after our first anniversary, shifting our lives dramatically. My ex matured quickly, taking on the bulk of parenting and household duties. I, however, clung to my immature college student mindset, failing as a husband and father. She'd beg for help, but I'd argue I was doing enough, working overtime, occasionally changing a diaper, or cooking for myself to lighten her load. In reality, I was using incompetence as a weapon, dismissing her struggles. I thought she was being unreasonable, but she was overwhelmed, and I refused to listen. Our fights worsened after our second child. She eventually left, moving hours away with our kids to live with family. I tried to win her back with grand gestures, not understanding her pain. When she served me divorce papers, I was shocked. I hadn't cheated or abused her, so how could she leave? In mediation, her resentment hit me hard. We settled on every other weekend visitation for me. Caring for our toddlers alone during those weekends was a wake-up call. My ex had always prepped everything: meals, clothes, a clean house. Now I was on my own, learning to manage a household and 2 young kids. I finally understood what she'd endured. I apologized, but it only angered her more. She was done. I vowed to grow. I learned to cook, braid hair, and manage parenting duties. I picked up hobbies, hit the gym, and read relationship books my ex had once begged me to read. I became the father I should have been. Dating as a single dad in my late 20s was tough, but I connected with single moms who understood my journey. I met my current wife, a single mom whose ex abandoned her. To her, I was a devoted partner and father, everything my ex had tried to help me become. I've improved, but I still make mistakes. My relationship with my ex is civil but strained, with lingering resentment. She raised our kids as a single mom, went back to school, and built a career. I don't know much about her personal life. She's unmarried, but I don't pry. As our youngest, now a senior, nears graduation, we've talked more. I've apologized again for failing her, but guilt lingers. She's about to face an empty nest, while I'm living the family life we once planned, but with someone else. I wonder if I'm wrong for becoming a better husband for my second wife. Not her. Update. May 12th, 2025. Little has changed regarding my guilt, but a recent event brought some closure. Our youngest, 18, graduated, and my ex hosted a party with both families, our first joint gathering since our wedding over 20 years ago. It went well, though our daughter found it strange to see her 2 worlds merge. My wife and ex laughed together, likely bonding over past frustrations with me. My ex and I talked about our kids, her upcoming empty nest, and her plans to travel. She mentioned Mark casually, possibly someone she's seeing, but I didn't ask. I thanked her again for being an incredible mother and apologized for my past failures. She surprised me by apologizing for resisting my push for more visitation years ago. After mediation, I got 40-60 custody instead of the 50-50 I wanted. Our kids are now adults, with their own lives, so our interactions will likely be minimal, maybe college graduations or future weddings. Despite our pain, we raised 2 happy kids. I'll always carry guilt, but I'm focused on being a better husband and father to my current family.